Imagine surviving 400 days in a war zone, only to come home and find out your biggest enemy wasn't across the ocean. It was your next-door neighbor. "You can't arrest me. I own this subdivision." She sold his house for $10. She thought he was never coming back, but she forgot one thing. You can steal from a civilian, but if you steal from a deployed soldier, you declare war on the United States government. Welcome back to Voices of Freedom. The Servicemembers Civil Relief Act is a federal law designed to protect our troops while they serve. But some HOAs think they are above the law. Question of the day. Do you think HOAs have too much power? Type yes or no in the comments. And if you support our troops, smash that like button right now. Let's get justice for Captain Mark. Meet Mark, an Army captain. He bought his dream home in Liberty Estates 3 years ago. It was his sanctuary, a place to raise a future family. But duty called. Mark received orders for a 12-month deployment overseas. He packed his bags, locked his doors, and prepared to serve his country. Mark was responsible. Before leaving, he set up auto pay for his HOA dues. He notified the HOA board in writing about his deployment. He did everything by the book. He thought his home was safe. He didn't know that the HOA board had just elected a new president. Patricia. Patricia was a real estate shark. She saw Mark's empty house not as a home, but as an asset. She noticed the grass growing a little too long. She noticed the blinds were always closed. She checked the records. Auto pay active. That was a problem for her plan. So, she allegedly updated the system. 2 months into Mark's deployment, his payments started bouncing. Not because he lacked funds, but because the HOA changed their banking details and forgot to tell him. Mark was in a bunker with spotty internet. He didn't check his bank account often. He assumed everything was fine. Patricia started sending fine letters. $50 for grass, $100 for missed payment, $500 late fee. She sent them to his empty house, knowing he would never read them. By month 6, she claimed Mark owed the HOA $5,000 in legal fees. It was time for her masterstroke. She initiated a foreclosure, but she didn't list it publicly. She held a quiet auction. The winning bidder, an LLC company linked to her brother-in-law. They bought a $400,000 house for just $15,000 in back dues. It was the heist of the century. Month 12. Mark finally came home. He was exhausted but happy. All he wanted was a hot shower and his own bed. The taxi pulled up to his driveway, but something was wrong. There was an unfamiliar car in the driveway and a private property sign on the lawn. Mark tried his key. It didn't turn. The locks had been changed. The door opened and a stranger stood there. "Can I help you?" Mark replied. "Yeah, you're in my house." The stranger said, "Your house?" "Buddy, I bought this place 4 months ago from the HOA. Get off my property before I call the cops." Mark didn't leave. He drove straight to the HOA office. He slammed his military ID on Patricia's desk. "Where's my house?" Patricia smirked. "Oh, the soldier boy. You stopped paying your bills. We foreclosed. It's gone. Maybe next time manage your finances better." Mark explained. "I was deployed. You can't do this." Patricia laughed. "I am the HOA President. My rules supersede your excuses. Now leave, or I'll have you arrested for trespassing." That was her fatal mistake. She treated a captain like a delinquent teenager. Mark didn't call the local police. He knew this was a civil matter to them. Instead, he called the JAG Corps, the military's top lawyers. When he showed them the foreclosure date and his deployment orders, the colonel's face went pale. The colonel explained, "Under the SCRA, it is a federal crime to foreclose on an active duty soldier without a specific court order. What she did isn't just a fine. It's a felony." The military contacted the Department of Justice. The FBI got involved. They dug into the HOA's records. They found more than just Mark's house. Patricia had been embezzlement funds and selling homes illegally for years. They didn't just want the house back, they wanted the whole operation. Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Patricia was holding a board meeting. Suddenly, the coffee in her cup started shaking. Not from an earthquake, but from heavy vehicles outside. Federal Marshals breached the door. "Federal agents! Nobody move!" They didn't knock. They secured the room. Mark walked in behind them, still in his uniform. He looked at Patricia and simply said, "I told you I paid my bills." Agents seized every computer, every file, and froze the HOA's bank accounts instantly. The entire subdivision was now under temporary federal management. The illegal sale of Mark's home was voided on the spot. Patricia was charged with wire fraud, embezzlement, and violation of the SCRA. As she was led away, the neighbors, people she had bullied for years, stood on their porches and clapped. The new owners were evicted immediately. Mark got his keys back. The court forced the HOA to pay for all damages, plus $100,000 in punitive damages. Patricia is currently serving 8 years in federal prison. The HOA was dissolved and replaced by a community trust run by the neighbors. Mark is back in his home, safe and sound. The healing began immediately. With Patricia behind bars, the atmosphere in Liberty Estates changed overnight. The neighbors, who were once terrified of getting fined for a blade of grass out of place, finally came out of their homes. They organized a massive welcome home barbecue for Mark right on his front lawn. Dozens of people helped him repaint the walls that the illegal owners had changed and fix the garden. The fear was gone. The toxic HOA board was replaced by a simple community trust that actually cared about the people, not the profits. Mark didn't just get his property back. He got his neighborhood back. Support our troops, or face the full force of the United States government. Subscribe for more justice. This is Voices of Freedom.